We begin with details of a new plan the U.S. president says could bring peace to the Middle East. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed last hour he supports Donald Trump's proposal to end the war in Gaza. It calls for an end to the fighting, the release of all remaining hostages, and for the disarming of Hamas. Both leaders urged the group to accept their terms or the war will continue.
I also want to thank Prime Minister Netanyahu for agreeing to the plan and for trusting that if we work together, we can bring an end to the death and destruction that we've seen for so many years, decades, even centuries, and begin a new chapter of security, peace, and prosperity for the entire region.
We're giving everybody a chance to have this done peacefully, something that will achieve all our war objectives without any further bloodshed. This can be done the easy way, or it can be done the hard way, but it will be done.
The CBC's Katie Nicholson was watching that news conference. She joins us now. So, Katie, can you walk us through the key points of this peace plan?
Yeah, when we heard Donald Trump talk about this so glowingly, this framework for peace, he's clearly very proud of. He talked about it as being eternal peace in the Middle East. And of course, one of the important points there being that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu indicates he is on board, even though there are things in here that were clearly difficult for him to agree with and go against a lot of what he has said in the past. So the plan includes an immediate ceasefire if both sides agree. And as you say, within 72 hours, all of the hostages will be released, as well as 1,700 Gazans who were detained since October 7th. And there is an off-ramp that has been built in here for members of Hamas if they commit to the peaceful coexistence is the term within the framework, and they decommission their weapons, then they will be granted amnesty. There's also, of course, a technocratic, apolitical governing body, a committee or a board, the president referred to it as, that is going to essentially take over governing and rebuilding, getting Gaza back up on its feet, figuring out what this structure should be until it's able to potentially, and this is the other thing that really caught my eye, govern itself. It leaves the door open to a potentially sovereign state for Palestine. And so that is something that has been clearly something that Benjamin Netanyahu has spoken stridently against. He referenced it. It seemed to be a point of tension, even in that brief I guess announcements, since they didn't take any questions. It wasn't really a press conference. And it is definitely a point of tension that still exists. President Trump noted as he made his remarks that this is something that Netanyahu was not in favor of, but there it is written out as one of the points of the peace plan, that this may one day get Gaza to a state where this region may potentially govern itself. And that is a point that is going to cause some frictions within right-wing factions within Israel.
So it'll be interesting to see whether Netanyahu is able to sell that.
Yeah.
Right. So what's at stake for Trump and Netanyahu if this plan doesn't work, and what would that mean for Hamas and Palestinians in Gaza?
So, I mean, the stakes are high. This has been going on for quite some time. For Netanyahu, he's been getting increasing pressure within his own country. Next year is an election year. There's a lot of pressure for him to try to find an off-ramp himself. And he's also been getting quite a bit of pressure from the families of the hostages as well. For President Trump, he definitely has been lauding himself as a president of peace. Mm-hmm. He has talked a lot about the deals that he has wanted to broker. Emmanuel Macron, last week, I believe, had said, if you want a Nobel Peace Prize, because you keep saying you want this, you should broker peace in the Middle East. And here, potentially, as Donald Trump says, he believes they are very close. Now, what Hamas has to say about this, what happens, that remains to be seen. But if a deal is not reached, the conflict will continue for the people within Gaza. Life will continue to be extremely hard. We have seen the ongoing crisis there for people on the ground, people who are starving, and there is, without a deal, a framework like this, potentially that will go on and continue. So the stakes are high for everybody.
And Katie, just before Trump announced the plan, Netanyahu reacted to the plan. The White House released details of a phone call that Trump and Netanyahu had with the leader of Qatar, and that is about the missile strikes on Qatar. Tell us about that.
In early September, you'll remember that there was an Israeli strike in Doha, and it killed a civilian, actually. Today, in this kind of extraordinary call from the White House, calling leaders in Qatar, with the Israeli Prime Minister sort of on the line, I guess, right next to him, opening up this discussion. And there was an apology from Netanyahu. He spoke about regret for the strike, for impinging on the sovereignty of Qatar, and that it will not happen again. So trying to tamp down, clearly this is the U.S. playing this role, facilitating this role of tamping down tensions in the region, which of course is so important if this framework is going to go forward, because it clearly draws on a need for everybody within the region to pull together and to try and help find a way forward between Israel and between Gaza right now.
Katie, thank you. The CBC's Katie Nicholson.